Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Mental Override, where we discuss your ability to overcome fear and live intentionally. Have you been asking the wrong question? I bet for most of your lives, since you were a kid, you've been asking the wrong question. Most people, when they leave high school, the biggest question that they're asked is, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? What job do you want to go do? Well, I completely disagree. Stay tuned, and shortly I'll reveal to you the question you should be asking to have the life that you want to have. So, before we get started, let's take a look at last week. Last episode, we were talking about our health and fitness. Our health and fitness determines the quality of every area, every aspect of our life. Through this lens, we were looking at minimalism and asking the question, what do we want to let go of in our life for our health and fitness in order to have the health and fitness that we want? Was it food? Was it snacks? Was it the late night TV? What did you let go of? Comment below and let us know. Okay, so you're all asking the wrong question. This is the question I think you should be asking. Who do you want to become? Today's talk is about your character. You see, our character is defined by who we want to become. If you want to leave high school and all you figure out is what you want to do, a lot of people will do anything and sacrifice their character to have a particular objective. If you change that question to who you want to become, you will then create capacity to do anything that you want. One of my favorite quotes is by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says, you can have more because you can become more. So what kind of person can hold space to do anything? Well, that's something you're going to have to ask yourself. Asking yourself who you want to become will then set the stage for what you do. I'll give you an example. Someone who wins the lottery. You know, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that says people who win the lottery, 70% of the people who win the lottery, go broke in the first 5 years. Well, let's just assume that statistic is true. I think one of the reasons for that is because their character can't hold space for what it takes to hold that kind of financial wealth. When you look at certain people in your community and you look at the type of work that they're doing, generally there's a particular type of character that holds space for those type of actions. So what shapes our character? I think there's, we'll say, 4 things in one action that defines our character. First, we have our beliefs. And our beliefs, I think we can define it in a way as the center of a circle. And our beliefs are such that whether you believe you are or you aren't, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Okay? So our beliefs at the center then define our values. Our values are what are important to us. We'll talk about values next. After our values, what's important to us shapes our worldview. Our worldview is then the lens in which we filter and see everything. If we value peace, we're going to be looking for peaceful situations all the time. If we value independence, we're going to be looking for ways in which people can be independent and we can be independent. So our values will shape the way in which we see everything. This worldview then shapes our character. Our character is a combination of our beliefs, values, and worldview. And how we find out who and what our character is through our actions. We can say we want to be something, we can say we want to love someone, but if we have no actions to follow, it's just an idea. So I'll give you an example here. One of the things we want to reflect on, let's say, is our values. So for me, my values are community, authenticity, peace, and stewardship. Quite simply, community for me looks at a lens through the world of interdependence, where we need one another. Authenticity is about the truth of everything. Is our character putting on a mask? Are we pretending to be someone we're not? Are we acting a certain way to impress other people, or are we being our truest self? Peace. Peace for me, one of the examples is, if it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. So the lens in which I see the world is through a lens of peace. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Are you wrecking yourself to have something? And the last one is stewardship. How do we take care of that which we have in our life? If you can take care of a little bit, that which you already have, more can be given to you, and you can create a character that holds space for more in your life. Just as Jim Rohn said, we can have more because we can become more. So how does mental override apply to character? I'll explain it this way. Being authentic, being your genuine self, not wearing masks, allows you to have intention in your life, choosing who you want to become. When you left high school, did you say, I wanted to be a peaceful man, a peaceful woman? Did you say, I want to be someone of integrity? Did you ask yourself, what kind of person has self-love and self-care and a consistent routine that takes care of their body? Most people were, I want to be the firefighter, I want to be the policeman, I want to be the artist. And it's just a job or a function of your character. But when you create a character that is genuinely yourself with intention, it will open doors for you to become something, to do something that's in alignment with who you are. Now, being authentic and deciding your character takes consistency and an understanding of yourself. So if you want to become someone, you have to look at yourself. And so one of the quotes I've come up with is, to the degree in which you can look in the mirror and into the deepest parts of your own soul, is to the degree in which you can change and overcome what you don't want to become who you do want. So you have to have an authentic look at yourself. You have to be willing to admit, this is who I am right now, and have that acceptance piece to go, well, maybe I am a bit jealous. Maybe I am a bit angry. Maybe I am a bit selfish. Maybe I am a bit fearful. And to the degree in which you can look at yourself and identify those things, you can grow and change your character. This also starts with identifying your beliefs, identifying your values, taking a look at what those are. And the easiest way is to ask yourself, what am I actually doing? You know, a lot of us say, well, we don't believe in ghosts, yet you turn off the lights and you're afraid of the dark. So sometimes our beliefs and our actions are in contradiction to one another. So ask yourself, what are my beliefs? What are my values? So how do we develop this with mental override? Where does mental override come into play? Because mental override is your ability to exercise and overcome fear through your actions. So we're afraid of something and we want to push through that fear and to have an outcome that we want. So I think the key to developing mental override is to exercise your character through intentional actions. Some of the practical exercises you can do for your character is learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Can you sit with your emotions? Can you sit and accept who you are? Is that uncomfortable? Instead of running from who we are, running from our fears, we learn to sit with that. We learn to sit with the bad parts of us. Another example would be doing cold plunges. Can you do a cold plunge and sit being uncomfortable? Can you do your workouts consistently? Can you schedule something and make a choice and develop that muscle over and over and over again by having a daily routine? Do you have acts of kindness? Are you able to accept the truth? And finally, one example would be, are you facing your personal demons? Do you know what needs to change about who you are? Do you know the part of you that you don't like? You can usually find out by the reactions of others, the way others are interpreting you and going, oh man, I don't want to be around this guy. Or they light up when they see you because they know that you're bringing joy with your character. So in light of minimalism, in the first part of this series, we're looking at, in order to have the life we want, first we need to get rid of what we don't want. So my challenge to you today is to take a look at your character and go, what part of me do I not want? Is that really what I believe? Is that really part of my values? So take a look at yourself, look in the mirror, and to the degree in which you can admit the truth is to the degree in which you can change who you are and have what you want. Comment below, be vulnerable, put down, hey, this is something I want to change. Imagine now visualizing that part of you gone. What type of person would you become? And sit with that feeling. Sit with that idea of like, oh man, I'm no longer a jealous person. I'm no longer a fearful person. Part of exercising mental override is visualization. So through each of these lessons, if we can visualize what we are having, actually possessing that thing and sit with the feeling, that is the exercise of developing your mental override. Just like an athlete visualizes his exercises or visualizes his achievement, mountain biking, going down the hill, the gymnast doing the backflip, the basketball making the hoop. When you visualize, your brain will make neurosynaptic connections as if you had actually done it. So in order to develop your character, first we have to look at our beliefs. And if you can visualize and believe that you are something more than you are now, that's one of the first steps in becoming that. So my challenge to you, put down below, what part of your character do you need to let go of? Maybe that's inhibiting your growth. Maybe that's inhibiting who you want to become and having the intentional life that you want. So thanks for listening to our 10-minute talk today. Went a little over time, 12 minutes, but that's all right. Character is a really big one. And again, this is just an intro to these areas of your life where you can create mental override to overcome fear and have the life that you want to have. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next episode.